A man from Zimbabwe may have just changed how humanity thinks about power forever. His name is Maxwell Chikumbutso, and he claims to have built something that breaks every rule of energy as we know it. A self-powered generator that never needs fuel, never needs charging, and never stops running. For years, this invention has been hidden from the public eye, but now it's finally resurfacing. Reports suggest Maxwell's device is available again, and this time, it might just be real. It sounds impossible, right? Because if one man could really create infinite energy, why isn't it all over the news? Why isn't every government rushing to replicate it? Why are stories about Maxwell and his invention constantly being taken down or ignored? The answer might be more complicated and more powerful than you think. Maxwell Chikumbutso wasn't born into wealth or fame. He grew up in Mufakos, a poor township outside Harare. But he had something that couldn't be bought: relentless curiosity. As a teenager, he spent nights disassembling old radios, rewiring televisions, and teaching himself how electricity moved. By the time most kids his age were still figuring out what they wanted to do in life, Maxwell was already experimenting with homemade drones and electric motors built from scrap parts. Then, in 2001, something extraordinary happened. He claimed to have designed an electric-powered helicopter, a working prototype, using technology of his own creation. That same year, he built an electric car that reportedly charged itself while running. The media took notice. Scientists were skeptical. But what truly turned him into a global mystery was what came next: a device called the Greener Power Machine, or GPM. Maxwell said this small box-shaped generator could produce electricity continuously without any fuel input. No solar panels, no wind turbines, no connection to the grid, just a device that runs by itself. For many, it sounded like science fiction. But for those who witnessed the demonstrations, it felt like seeing the impossible become real. The idea, as Maxwell explained, was that his device captured and converted electromagnetic frequencies into usable energy. In simple terms, it was harvesting power from the very environment around us, something Nikola Tesla once theorized more than a century ago. It wasn't perpetual motion. It wasn't magic. It was resonance, magnetism, and a principle we might not yet fully understand. If that's true, it could mean free, unlimited power for the entire planet. No more fossil fuels, no more nuclear waste, no more dependency on centralized grids. The implications are unimaginable. And maybe that's exactly why so few people have heard about it. As Maxwell's work gained attention, so did the resistance. Experts labeled him a fraud. Institutions ignored him. Investors backed out. In 2015, he was invited to demonstrate his technology in the United States. But after initial tests, communication went silent. What happened next remains a mystery. Some say he was pressured to stop. Others say he went underground to protect his invention. Whatever the truth is, the result was the same. The man who might have solved the world's energy problem vanished from public view. Years passed. No official updates, no interviews. It was as if he'd disappeared completely. But behind the scenes, whispers continued. Small tech forums began resurfacing the story. Engineers started analyzing his patents and old demonstration footage. Then, in 2024, something strange happened. Suddenly, mentions of Maxwell's Greener Power Machine started appearing again online. People claimed to have seen new models. A few even said they'd received prototypes through private channels. Some reported working demonstrations in off-grid areas of Africa, supposedly running entire homes without a single watt from the power grid. The videos didn't stay online for long. They were flagged, deleted, or vanished without explanation. But once the story resurfaced, it couldn't be buried again. If this sounds unbelievable, you're not alone. Even scientists who believe in alternative energy find it hard to accept. According to conventional physics, a self-sustaining power source violates the law of energy conservation. Energy must come from somewhere. It can't appear from nothing. But what if nothing isn't actually nothing? What if space itself contains untapped energy fields we just don't understand yet? That's not fiction. It's quantum mechanics. The zero-point energy field, a concept mainstream science acknowledges, suggests that even in a perfect vacuum, there's a measurable amount of background energy. It's theoretical, yes, but experiments have already shown glimpses of it. And that's what makes Maxwell's story so intriguing. Maybe he's not breaking the laws of physics. Maybe he's simply using a part of physics we don't fully understand yet. If that's true, the consequences would be staggering. Energy independence would no longer be a dream. Developing nations could light up entire cities without fuel. Remote villages could run hospitals, schools, and water systems without paying a cent to power companies. The world's poorest regions could become energy self-sufficient overnight. But revolutions like this don't come easy. History is full of examples. Tesla's wireless energy tower, Stanley Meyer's water-powered car, countless inventors who vanished after claiming to find free power sources. Maybe they were frauds. Maybe they were silenced. The truth always sits somewhere between the two extremes. As for Maxwell, recent reports suggest that the latest version of his device has entered limited testing. Sources indicate that it's being distributed to select partners and early evaluators under strict confidentiality. If true, that means the technology is finally inching toward real-world use, quietly, strategically, and far from the spotlight. The interesting part is that these small test units reportedly require no maintenance, no fuel, and operate silently. They can power everything from a refrigerator to a small home continuously. Of course, details are scarce, and independent verification is almost impossible right now. But if even a fraction of this is accurate, we're looking at one of the biggest technological leaps in human history. For years, people have said that the future belongs to renewable energy. But what if it belongs to something beyond renewable? What if it belongs to limitless? Imagine a world where every electric car runs forever, where airplanes never refuel, where disasters don't leave cities in darkness. It sounds like a dream, but every major shift in history started as one. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're one of the few who still believes in possibility. The kind of person who looks at the world and thinks, there has to be more. And you're right. There always is. That's why stories like Maxwell's matter. Because they remind us that progress doesn't always come from billion-dollar labs. Sometimes it comes from a single mind, working in silence, believing the impossible into existence. We don't know yet if Maxwell Chikumbutso's self-powered device truly works as claimed, but we do know this. It's inspired thousands of engineers, scientists, and dreamers to start asking the right questions again. What if the energy problem isn't a lack of resources, but a lack of imagination? What if the future of power isn't something we need to create, but something that's already all around us, waiting to be unlocked? And maybe, just maybe, that's why this story refuses to die. Every time it fades, it comes back. Every time it's buried, it resurfaces. Because truth has a way of finding the light. If you've been fascinated by this story, stay with us. Subscribe now, because this is just the beginning. We are diving deep into the technologies and inventions that could redefine the next century, stories that make you think, that challenge what's possible, and that remind us how little we truly know. Somewhere out there, Maxwell is still working, still building, still fighting to prove his vision. Whether his invention becomes mainstream or not, he's already changed something fundamental. The belief that innovation belongs only to the powerful. He's shown that even one person from the most unexpected place can shake the foundations of the modern world. And that's the real story here. It's not just about a machine. It's about a mindset. The idea that progress doesn't ask for permission, that change doesn't wait for approval. That truth, no matter how long it's silenced, will eventually be seen. So the next time you flip a light switch, think about it. Somewhere, right now, there might be a machine humming quietly, generating power from thin air, running endlessly, ignored by the world, yet holding the key to our future. We may not know where to buy it yet, We may not even know if it's fully real, but one day soon we will. And when that day comes, everything, from how we live to how we power civilization, will never be the same again. If you believe in the pursuit of truth, in the power of curiosity, and in the possibility that innovation can come from anywhere, make sure you're subscribed. Because we're just getting started. The age of limitless energy may not be a fantasy anymore. It might already be here.